Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Hearthstone. So we have a choice here. We can either trade out one of these 50s or we keep one of the 50s. And I guess since my priest is at 60 here and my warrior is not at 60 and my warlock is not at 60, we need to get rid of the priest. Nice. So we've got challenge a friend for 80, and that works out pretty well. Let's see, wild duel challenge. Play me, big dang, play me. Somebody is actually online right now. Let's see if he actually accepts. And standard rules apply here on Hearthstone. I think my standard rule is going to apply. If he accepts, we will try to just give him a challenge, but then let him win. I think that's the courteous thing to do if he accepts. Unfortunately, this is the problem with challenging anybody besides my secondary account, is that he could just be AFK. He could be waiting for somebody else to get online. He could be doing anything at all. It says right now he was hanging out in the menu, but it's just not happening. I mean, how long is it going to take for this person to either say yes or no? It should have popped up right on the screen. And see, this is why I need more friends. Apparently I can have, well, I have 26 people online as it is, and, well, 26 people friended, and 4 are online right now. 2 of them are just in battle.net, which I assume means they just have the launcher open. And that's it. One of them is in competitive in-game, which I assume is Overwatch, based on this icon. And then this rank 13 player, who is much higher than me, is supposedly hanging out in the menu. And I have to sit here, or I don't have to sit here. I think we've given him enough time. It's been several minutes. We have an odd situation with the news. My whiteboard is full of news, but it's not very heavy on news, more that I just took up a lot of space and didn't write very small. It would be nice to get some extra work done today. I went to a doctor for a checkup yesterday, and the thing got car sick from having to travel back and forth, which is odd. Seriously. Tavern Brawl it is. Let's start with the Tavern Brawl. I don't understand this. Warrior or Warlock? I don't understand this at all. This is the second time I've had to play with. I've had a challenge a friend, which gives both players 80 gold, and people don't respond or just downright decline it. It makes no sense. Like, and that's a shame too, because now I'm gonna just have to defriend Big Dang. I mean, I really got to do it, don't I? Like, I've got to just kick these people that won't do anything for me. It's a shame, I know, but it's the only way I'm ever going to get this list to anything that works. So, like, one decline of something that was mutually beneficial, and I'm just like, we've got to get rid of it. So So Big Dang will be the first victim of this new policy. He's gone. And nothing personal against him. I don't know who he is. He just sent me a random friend request after we played a game, I believe. Maybe not. Maybe he is a fan. Maybe he wanted him. But you're limited on the number of people you can friend. And I might as well start right now sorting out my friends list to people that will actually respond. And I don't think for a second I'm being hypocritical here. As I completely 100% would accept any challenge at all. Maybe there's a reason. Like, maybe Big Dang is trying to meet up with his friends and play online. And he was going to challenge his friends, and it was already scheduled, therefore that's why he declined. But even if that is the reason, I can't really even care. How'd I get this guy? Don't touch. You don't control how this minion attacks. Party Crasher. Is that what this is? Alright, well fine. We'll do this.
Job's done.
So, do you get a Party Crasher every time you do damage to the face? Is that what happens? Let's see. The cards cost 5. Taunt, Enrage 3.
I have an axe to grind.
I don't really have a reason why I would want to attack, so I'm just gonna go and see what happens here. Oh, this is gonna be an easy tavern brawl if all these party crashers just attack the face completely. Right. Destroy a minion. And take this. And then attack. And attack. And we'll win. If I played this next turn, it lowers the price of everything except for this card.
Robbery commencing.
Add a copy of each damage friendly minion to your hand.
I will not be trifled with.
Let's see.
Start running.
There we go. And then in the turn. And these party crashers are very consistently attacking. So I suppose it's only worth it. I said I went to a doctor. Going to a doctor's when you're even relatively young and even relatively healthy is such a huge waste of time. That they're always, in my experience at least, so focused around getting rid of you as soon as possible, and they very much generalize everything. It's like, yeah, we've seen it 100 times before. There's nothing special about you, so it's this. Hey, and we get a card pack for the new expansion. Well, we're not going to get any more card packs for the new expansion, so now I'm just going to have this card pack I can't open. Available in mid-April, so you now know it's not mid-April. And nobody else is online, so we'll have to do that later. Let's continue down the path of win 3 games with the warrior, and we'd be pretty well done. Just gotta make sure we're playing the actual warrior. This guy's the warrior, right? Yeah. And I wish it said warrior somewhere around here instead of just the name. So we just need to play it. We'll try ranked while we're here, wild ranked. So yeah, it's always frustrating and generally a waste of time to go see a doctor, but I figured I hadn't done it in maybe a decade and a half too, for any general reasons. I think maybe a couple years ago my ears got clogged up, which started happening because of allergies and just earwax buildup, and so about once a year I need to make sure I do a real good job using, there's this stuff called Debroxis or something that you can use that that breaks down all the earwax in your ears and helps clean them out. And then I spend the vast majority of a year slightly clogged up, so it helps protect my ears as if I'm naturally wearing earplugs, but it also makes things quieter, but that's fine because I have moderately, probably very good hearing for my age, and that's fine. That might also explain if there's some audio balance issues with my recordings, but not really, because it's more still the setup. I'm still wearing headphones and trying to listen to myself and the game, both of which are going through the headphones and trying to get it balanced. For example, right now it feels very much like it's balanced.
An autograph?
So if other people hear it and it isn't, a lot of times that's just YouTube does weird things, and my microphone and my setup does weird things, and it just doesn't sound the same way, unfortunately. Speaking of YouTube doing weird things, I don't know how, but 2 of my Lego videos went out and they had no audio at all. One, I'm reprocessing both of them back to the original audio, so that should fix it. And one of them, when I previewed it with the original audio, it seemed like it fixed it. With the other, it doesn't seem like it did. I'm not sure if... I almost have this feeling that I possibly messed up. Messed up somehow the audio in one of the videos, and it is just going to be silent. I suspect a lot of this has to do with content IDs and audios being muted, injured? And then content ID things being dropped, and then the audio not going back to the way it was supposed to, and however that somehow slid behind me, and YouTube is weird and getting weirder by the second. So now we have a 310. Every time damaged, I get 1 armor. But only 1 armor for every amount of damage they do. I don't think he can do too much anyways.
I must consider.
Moving on to actual video game news. Also, I'm uploading it at the moment right now, so I'm trying to see if that's fine to do while playing Hearthstone. When I think also about the concept
Defend yourself.
of just how.
Strike.
Let's see, should I do 1 damage or should I hit the face? I think I'll just hit the face. As I'm thinking about, maybe I should go live on YouTube and stream these, or maybe even go to Twitch and stream these. I'm thinking about how good is my bandwidth, which it probably isn't that good. Usually when I'm uploading it somehow ends up giving me even more what would be the right word? Let's see. Taunt. How many things can I do? This, or bolster this guy and just this guy,
What now?
or this and this. I can't play them all though, so this and
Defend yourself.
we'll hit this one. And we'll hit
Strike.
this one. And then we'll hit this one for a nice impact. So combined we should have
You have the
18
artifact.
damage next turn. Unless he does something crazy. No, I got 20
You have
health. He didn't even play right. Alright. Yeah, so video game news. So Fury has released, or is going to release, a DLC called One More Fight. And Fury is kind of a sad game because I kind of liked the way it looked and wanted to do more with it. Also, I have the feeling that this may be only 2 recordings. This series, yeah, but unfortunately it's just too difficult a game. I kind of wanted to play it, but it's not gonna happen. I know it's not. There's this game called The Surge that's been announced to release on May 16, 2017. Actually, the article I read said May 16, 2016, and I had to go look up and just double check I wasn't reading an old article. But the weirdness about The Surge is I've never heard of it, and here it's coming out in a couple months, and seems like some low advertising going on there, but not really a big deal. Probably should have played this first, just in case they have a destroy minion card. The Surge doesn't really look like too much anyways, if I'm just gonna be honest. It'll probably get there at some point, but no, I don't even think the Surge will get there. It looks like it's gonna be some kind of loot gathering, destroying monsters game with it, where all they're showing is a cutscene. Moving on, Nier Automata needs a controller according to Tilda Biscuit on the PC. I probably would agree that that seems realistic enough to be the case.
Strike.
Let's go ahead and do this and see what happens. Darn it. That sucks. But Nier Automata, for the most part, looks like it's moderately okay running on PC, considering it's a if I give it an extra excuse, being that it's a Japanese game. It needs some work though. If I'm gonna be more honest there, it needs some work, and hopefully it will get a patch, and hopefully things will be done.
A glorious invention.
There's also a lot of replays that you want to do in Nier Automata, so that is a game I want to play, but it may turn out that it requires a lot of replays. Now I just erased something that I shouldn't have erased. Sonic Mania has been delayed till summer. However, Sonic Force is still on schedule. One thing that I want to point out here is something that Red Letter Media or previously reported, which is actually the people that said this. They made a very good argument about how just objectively there are major problems with Sonic games, and they've never really been good. There was just a lot of nostalgia, and that was the Mario for people who had Sega consoles, and people got very invested in defending their consoles. But things like enemies are only on the screen when you're running as Sonic for a few frames, like a third of a second. An enemy will be on screen and you can hit it. And the game, when you actually play Sonic games, the original few Sonic games, it's constantly it's constantly causing you to crash into things and slow down your speed. So it wants you to move fast, but then there's enemies that show up and hit you and make you drop coins, and there's just things you wouldn't see, booby traps and such. And when you really start to think about it, yes, there's a concept of a Sonic game that would be good. But the reality of Sonic games are actually that they never achieved anything close to that concept. In fact, they went right against it. And that also could probably be explained by the fact that you don't see on YouTube, you don't see on Games Done Quick, people run and speed run through Sonic games. There's apparently no glitches to really run through it, and apparently it's not a fun enough game or interesting enough game to have a no glitch speed run at all. So it's odd that this game is sold and has this concept of being one thing when it really isn't. And that's not me just hating on Sonic games. I really would like to see a good Sonic game. I just don't trust Sega to ever do it. I think Sega is just kind of like Capcom, and the thing about Japanese companies is because they're these huge mega corporations, even bigger than the United States relatively. They just don't care what little video game division they have, when Sega is also doing several other things, although I'm not sure if Sega really is in that position now or ever has been, so I may be generalizing too much there. Let's see, what does this do? After at the end of a turn, deal 1 damage to all other things. Okay, I will accept that damage. That works fine. one of the Steam games I was looking at as we're going through announcements. They in Steam you make your website, and when it's had just been announced, it's not early access or anything, even to the point of early access. It has this box that says available, and what they put in the box is when you least expect it. I believe the game was Tales and something. It's supposed to be the smaller version of StarCraft, but let's see, who do we want to get rid of first?
Strike.
Bear Trap. Alright, Bear Trap. Whenever this minion deals damage, get that much armor. So who do we want to get rid of? I guess we'll do this. All these cards are working together so well. This is a nice deck. Nice deck we've got here. It's a 55% win ratio too, according to Hearthstone Deck Tracker. And so, yeah, they just put available when you least expect it. And I'm like, come on, we need to be professional here. Steam, you shouldn't allow this kind of stuff. People actually want to know the date. So just put to be announced, unannounced, to be determined. Just normal things like that. Don't give me ridiculous things. Okay. And we have one more thing to do, I suppose, and then that'll be the end of this recording. So let's come out of my phone and launch Hearthstone and turn down all the audio. And it's downloading in the background. Hopefully it's not really downloading in the background. Well, let's give it about 5 seconds and then we'll be done. They've announced the new expansion of cards, but if you come in the crafting mode and you look here, it's not listed yet. And so until that update comes back, I don't really want to do a video on covering every single card. I will, but I just don't see a reason to do that when it probably this time in the next couple days they'll just send out the update so we can start looking at the cards, hopefully, and then we can start talking about it. That'll be a busy day for me, certainly, and that will kind of suck. It says here we're getting 581 kilobytes remaining at 3 megabytes per second. Not a great download speed in general, but that might be limited. And of course I'm on my Wi-Fi right now, so that's my house internet. I could possibly speed it up by using my cell phone internet, but it's done now. Some guys made a PC building simulator. We'll talk about this news. And then he put it on Reddit, on the PC thing. PC subreddit. What is it? PC Builders, PC Master Race, something like that. Probably several subreddits. He cross-posted it too. One thing that's weird is I keep getting the... that's odd. Somebody else came online just as this was happening. I keep getting the Samsung card back every single time. So I've got to pick a deck here that's a standard deck just because. And we'll just end everything, and I'll take a rogue deck here on my cell phone. And we'll just let my cell phone win because my cell phone is still it still hasn't unlocked all the cards. There's an incredibly long, just secondary tutorial onboarding system that happens in the background once when you start an account. My secondary account is so weird because of that. After having it for like for months and months, if not an entire year now, I think it may very well just be at the real starting point you should be at. This is going to be dumb for Jabs, considering all he's going to see is my character get defeated. He's spectating my main account, so he's just going to see me sit around and do that. Which now I'm in a conflicting state, because this means I'm going to potentially mess up his opportunity to get a watch and learn, to give myself the challenge a friend, which is certainly going to suck. So this guy makes this PC building simulator. It's in a rough state right now. It's got very few 3D models, and it's just really a basic program where you pick a few different options, and whatever options you pick, it shows you a rough 3D model of a PC. And that might work if he was going to work with the creators of new and different versions of PC parts. The problem is he said specifically no, he wants to sell it like a game, and because he specifically doesn't want to deal with any of the manufacturers, which is insane. And so this is going nowhere, and it's just a huge waste of time. And frankly, while it might be somewhat useful on a website if you like PC Parts Picker, if you were just trying to make sure parts fit, I've had cases where I've bought a case and the graphics cards coolers were longer than the length of the case, and I actually had to get some pliers and bend metal and actually do some hard modding to a case. But generally speaking, as long as you have a nice big PC case, which is what you should start with if you're not going to bother to do the research. Jobs is no longer spectating me, obviously, so maybe he'll spectate me some more. There could have been some use for it, but really there isn't. And this is only the simplest of, will it physically fit in the case, which it looked like in its current state there's only one case. Not will the screws line up, how well will the screws line up. It's a pretty common issue to have a motherboard and the place where the video cards are screwed into the slots to lock down that card not to line up quite right, and so that's you have to kind of work with your motherboard, your video card, and make sure it's screwed down tightly and plugged in right. Otherwise, it's pretty common for computers to get jostled and video cards to come half unplugged and short the whole card out, if not the whole system out. So real world experience is a lot better. And generally in my experience, when I learned to build computers, I built very old computers, and I fried, short-circuited, hot-swapped hard drives that couldn't be hot-swapped many times. Like 4 or 5 computers were fried before I finally started to learn just some basic things about computer building. And that's not where you're going to have issues. What you're more likely to have issues is you do everything right, or you think you do everything right, and then the computer just doesn't turn on, which was also a big post on the same subreddit. Was a 10-year-old put together this computer. 10-year-old's probably not old enough to be building a computer by themselves. It's probably a bad idea to build a computer by yourself anyways, without somebody looking over your shoulder who knows what you're doing, just to make sure you know it works, and to be there if something weird happens that's not your fault, because that's really where it's gonna be a crazy bad experience, is if you don't know what you're doing, and you can't diagnose the problem. And so, yeah, PC Building Simulator as a game looks awful. It's never going to be a game because it won't be fun as a game. That's Foxconn Employee Simulator, basically. That's working from a Chinese factory to assemble a PC. That's not a fun game, and it's not a helpful tool. So, congratulations, guy. You've found a way to make something totally useless in both categories. Anyways, I've got a lot of news for next time. I guess, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.